So, hello guys, this week reading vlog. It's late because I've had the most not great few days. It's over on Saturday. My uncle passed away, so that was sad. But he wasn't in the best health, so it's one of those where at least he's not in pain or suffering anymore. Then my eyes, something bit me, which I kind of found out what it was, which is something you have to deal with when it's warm, and these critters came out and bit me. So my eye was swollen really bad, and I had to get antibiotics, some allergy meds, because I had a very bad allergic reaction to it, and I also had to get some ointment to put on it. So it's not 100%, but you can't really tell the difference unless I show you. But before, it was bad. I mean, I was looking like Sophia off of Color Purple, so it wasn't a good feeling. And then also, it's like, okay, I'm getting back to normal, and then I was a little sad when I heard Toni Morrison passed away. So it's one of those, like, a book girl's queen, and to know that she's no longer here, that you feel some kind of way. So yeah, but today I'm gonna start and I'm gonna try and get back into reading. But I did finish The Lost Children Archive, and it's a book that's on the Man Booker long list. And it's an interesting book. I'm going to talk more about it towards when I do my wrap up in this video. It is very much not an easy read, and it is I'll tell you how it made me feel, and later on. I also wanted to finish this over the weekend, and I didn't get to, and that is My Sister the Serial Killer. But I couldn't read. I mean, really, if I attempted to read, my eyes would start running. It was just, it's just, when you can't read, you don't realize how much it can affect you. And I can't see myself just not being able to read, and it just made me feel some kind of way. But in this video, I will read this book. I will talk about it. I also was hoping that this week I would have gotten to Speaking of Summer, and I wanted to get to this, but I don't think it's going to happen, because I'm going to take baby steps with my eyes, because, because of what was happening. Like I said, with Tyler Terry, sometimes I get blurry, and it's going to be like this, they say, for at least another week. So I don't think I'm going to get to this, but most likely probably next week. Now, what I'm excited about is today I got a box from Penguin Random House, and it's their teen division, and these are supposed to be YA books from African American authors. And so I don't know what's in it. I did open up the side just so it could be easier for me to open it on camera, but we're gonna see. So the first book I already have a copy of, so we'll see what we'll do with that. But this is, so there's a letter in there, and I'll read that later. Oh, Akila. And I'm probably going to butcher the names, because these names are not oh my goodness. So I'm reading one of those, and she put in The Count of Monte Cristo as one of her favorite novel, and that is from one of the author, but we'll talk more as in. So I got an arc of this at BookCon, so I already have a copy of this, but we're gonna see if I can get Mel to buddy read this with me, and we can talk about it. And this release is in September, so she doesn't have that much time, and she's not a fast reader like me. She's in the corner, guys, so she's in here. So we're gonna see if I can get her to read. I'm gonna give her this copy, have her read it with me, and then we're gonna, before the books come out, we're gonna talk about it together, how we felt about the stories, and she'll finally get on here in a real book review. So yeah. So yeah. All right, guys. I'm giving it to her. All right. So the next book is called War Girls, and this is the one that has the author Tachi. I think that's how you pronounce that. I'm not gonna be able to pronounce our last name that great. And this one looks like it's a he, actually. Sorry. This looks like a little dystopia. It's in a war-torn Nigeria. Soldier. Yeah. I'm here for the cover. Whoa, the cover. War Girls. I mean, this cover says a lot. And just the, wow. I'm gonna read this because yeah. I'm already here for this. I haven't read a dystopia or any kind of futuristic books in a while. So, and this is YA, so it's a little bit more easier than when you read like an adult one. So we'll see. The next book is called The Stars and the Blackness Between Us. And this one, it's also have a letter in it as well, which I will reveal later. And let's see. This looks, oh yeah, this one I believe is the, okay, this one is an LGBT book. So this is an LGBT, I'm here for it. Now, as far as LGBT book, I don't read a lot. I read books that has some elements of it. The last one was Patsy. But I really haven't read like one where it's an actual full-on about their love, and the story is mostly based on that kind of dynamic. And this one, they're young, so I find that this also comes out in September, and oh my God, I feel like this is gonna be good. And also, guys, the cover. I mean, they are doing it with these cover. I'm even looking at the shade of their lipstick. Thinking, like, what shade was that? Especially this one with the nude. Yeah, I'm here for this. I'm here for this, guys. And then the last one is also A River of Royal Blood, and this one also looks very sci-fi. Yeah, this one's also looking very sci-fi. But again, these are gonna be in a reading vlog, so I would definitely like go through the whole what the story's about, give you more detail, but this is a reading vlog and I'm trying not to get it long. But yeah, I mean the cover, guys. Right?
That blonde hair.
And look at the jewelry.
Yeah, jewelry, like, looks like tribal kind of. It looks very nice.
Yeah. Amanda Joy. And this one comes out in October. So we have October, we have September, and this one is September as well. And then
that's by far my favorite color.
And this one is October. So I have time for this one, but my goodness, like, I mean, this is probably the best cover. Yeah, like, I mean,
she looks fierce.
So I love that these African American, well, they're not all African, probably some are just regular African, but I love that these black authors are getting covers that are awesome. Back in the days, the covers were horrible. Like, I don't even know what was going on with the cover, and I love that now they are invested in making sure that not only we getting good stories, but the covers are also eye-catching. Like, you go in the store and you see this, and you're gonna want to know what it's about immediately. What is this story about? And and it's good, and I'm really here for it. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna leave right now. I'm gonna cook and then get some reading done today, and yeah, and get Mel to read. You better, because then we can talk about it together. So yeah. So guys, I'm going to be doing my wrap up, and I'm going to start with one of the books that I read right before the reading room, before I started the other book, and this is Lost Children Archive. This is one of the books on the Man Booker Prize, and that's one of the reasons why I picked it up, because I tend to try to read at least 5 or 6 books off the list, and sometimes I'm hoping that most of them that I read make it to the short list. But this one I thought was it wasn't an easy read, but it also made me very uncomfortable. This is a story about a couple, and they're on this trip to basically from one side of the US to the other side, and there are journalists, but they both have different things that they're interested in as far as a storyline, where they are on talking about lost children, and these lost children are pretty much what you call undocumented immigrant children, and they are sometimes stories of these children who are sometimes detained and then released and never been found again, or took the long journey to America because maybe their parents are already here, and hoping that they'll find their parents. It is a sad story because it actually reflects on the now and what's going on now in our country. So a lot of times I was reading this, and especially like there's a book that the female, the mother is reading from, and some of the stories, it just makes you feel so sad because it's fiction, but it's very much reality. And it goes into a lot of history. There's a lot of history as far as Native, whether they're Native American or in the US, or Native from like Mexico, people and things that are symbolic of their culture and survival. And then we have 2 children in the story that's on this trip with the parents, and you are learning that they are not biological kids, and they're also not from adopted together. They're more of a situation where the mother has one and the father has one, and when their parents join together, they become brother and sister combo. And they're also intrigued and got caught up in the stories that they're hearing, and basically became lost kids themselves. And so it dealt with things that are at times you're not sure if it's reality or this is a reflection or a memory of something that had happened, because there's transition in between the mother's talking and then the son, who seems to be older, reflecting and telling a story to his sister. I really thought this was very much creative. The writing is definitely different. The layout of the books, especially like how it was transition, is different. It is definitely not surprising that it's a Man Booker, because I think, because I read a few Man Booker in the past few years, you kind of like see what sometimes they like these kind of complicated writing style and storyline. So it's not my favorite. Definitely the what am I looking at? An Orchestra of Minority is still my favorite right now, but I do think it was interesting, and I do feel like there's something there. Now the next book also made a Man Booker, which I don't know why, and that is My Sister Serial Killer. Now I didn't want to read this. I just read it because it was once again nominated for a book award. I didn't want to read it because I know it was not going to be my cup of tea, because I know I was going to be annoyed. And damn it, I was. And this is a story exactly what the title say. And you have an older sister and a younger sister who's a serial killer. and the older sister is always the one that having to clean her mess up, having to cover for her. And it just feel like another case of a storyline where the main character is basically being taken advantage of, and you don't know why. You're in the book because you just want to know why she's allowing certain things to happen to her. But the ending, this damn ending, I look. No, I didn't like the ending. It just felt like nothing was resolved. It's like, okay, she got away with it again. She's about to do it again. How many more bodies did she do? You know, like how many people did she really kill? Like it's like, oh, is the big sister gonna be a wuss again and allow that crap to happen again? Now, the thing I love about the book is the chapters. They're short as hell. So it's like, okay, one mess. Okay, let me go to the next chapter. Another mess. But I don't love it. And I know I wasn't going to love it, but I don't know why I did that to myself. This is just not for me. It was just, I hate characters that just felt pushovers and easily manipulated. Like, no. So anyway, guys, I have one more Man Booker book and I don't have it on me. Anyway, you'll see it in the next video. I'm gonna read that one, and there's another one I want to read, but it's definitely not, it's a supposedly released in the UK, but it's not released here. So that's the only other book. There's pretty much 2 other books that I'm interested in reading, to be honest. The other books, I don't know, something about them just not making me want to grab to read them. So I'm gonna see if maybe something else might, I don't know, but we'll find out. Anyway, that is it for this video, and hope you enjoyed my chill day. Yeah, and I'm back to normal, guys. My eyes feel so much better. You know, the itching is definitely not there anymore. But again, you know, what an experience. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye.